What's up guys, it's Will back again, and today's review is The Foreigner. The Foreigner is an action thriller film that was directed by Martin Campbell and is based on the 1992 novel entitled The Chinaman written by Stephen Leather. The Foreigner takes place in Ireland and kicks off when terrorists blow up a local shop in order to advance their political interests. Jackie Chan's character Kwan has a teenage daughter who is killed in the bombing, and after this he goes out in search of the names of the bombers. He meets with a government official named Liam Hennessy, played by Brosnan, who Kwan believes is protecting the bombers due to his own political interest, and Kwan begins to take matters into his own hands and terrorize Hennessy until he gives him the names. And the rest of the film is spent watching the military-trained Kwan attempt to make Hennessy's life a living hell through his combat expertise in the hopes that he can get justice for his daughter and expose the evil terrorists for what they truly are. Okay, so I didn't go into The Foreigner expecting a whole lot. I was more excited to see Jackie Chan back on the big screen than anything, and that's honestly the reason I think a lot of people are probably going to go out and see this movie. I don't think the story that was teased in the trailers really wowed anybody. It honestly seemed to be more about Jackie Chan's return to the big screen than anything else. And honestly, I think that's the right way to approach it, because everything about this movie is fine. I don't think The Foreigner is a movie that you need to go out and see in theaters, because I don't think it necessarily warrants the price of admission. From top to bottom, The Foreigner is your run-of-the-mill political thriller, and there's nothing about this film that's all that memorable besides Jackie Chan, and there's nothing all that bad about it either, I guess, besides it being pretty average at basically everything if you consider that a negative. I would consider the average output across the board a negative when we're discussing whether you should buy a ticket to go see the film though, because depending upon where you live, ticket prices can range from anywhere to $6 to $18, and I mean my ticket was $13, and I personally don't feel like I really got my money's worth from the experience that The Foreigner offers. It wasn't a total and complete disappointment and ripoff by any means, but the experience feels very generic and lacks any sort of individuality as a film. The Foreigner feels like a movie that will be running on Cinemax and HBO in a year, and one that you'll probably sit down and watch during the middle of the day because not much else is on. It's a very middle of the road film that ventures into territory that basically every political thriller of the past 20 years has been. There's been a terrorist attack, there's some sort of corruption from within the government, and you have a trained military man who seeks to expose the corruption because of a personal investment he has in the case. The Foreigner is decent enough, but it's absolutely a by-the-book, formulaic political thriller. Considering Jackie Chan is in this movie, you think it's an action film. Well, no, not really. It has some action in it, but not all that much. I'd be hesitant to label The Foreigner an action film myself because I don't feel like it relies very heavily on the action. It relies on the tense conversations and the political drama to carry the load, and some very brief action scenes are sprinkled in like every half hour or so. So with that in mind, this isn't really a pure Jackie Chan action movie that many are expecting it to be. But Jackie Chan is really good in this movie. I felt like he was the clear winner in all this because I haven't seen a ton of his films where he showed wide range as an actor like he did in The Foreigner. Instead of his ass-kicking skills, Jackie Chan instead relies on his drama chops, and that works surprisingly well in this movie. I think Jackie Chan takes on a little bit of a different role here than we're used to seeing him in, and that was actually pretty cool for me because of how well he portrayed his character. Brosnan is also good, and I can at times feel like he is the main character. He seemingly gets much more actual screen time than Jackie Chan for whatever reason, but he makes good use of it by delivering a character that's sort of fairly generic but well acted nonetheless. I think some will feel cheated by Jackie Chan's screen time in this film though. Considering it's called The Foreigner and most of the marketing material centered around Jackie Chan, it is a little bit of a letdown to see him a little underused. The film focuses heavily on Brosnan's character, and Jackie Chan just kind of shows up every now and then to set off bombs and make Liam Hennessy's life a living hell. The action that does happen in The Foreigner is very fine as well. There's nothing all that special about it, but it's not horrendous either. It comes across as low budget, almost TV style action to an extent. It's not your normal kick-ass Jackie Chan vibe by any means, so I think it's important that you go in with the right expectations. Expect similar action to what you'd get in like American Assassin or something, and not like Rumble in the Bronx or anything like that. Let's shift back to the story for a second though. I feel like there were some stretches of time where the story feels very emotional and others where it feels very hollow. I think that The Foreigner does a really great job in the opening moments of the film though. My attention was grabbed early and I was invested early, but the further you get away from the terrorist act in question, the further you get away from any sort of heavy emotional investment in the story. It's like the pieces are there, but The Foreigner never quite manages to make them all fit together cohesively. I did find myself invested in Kwan's story solely because of his investment in finding the bombers and how he has nothing to lose as a character, but everyone else lacked any sort of individuality and anything special about them to keep you invested as a viewer. I found the other characters to be just sort of filler characters that ultimately proved to be far short of anything memorable. But overall, The Foreigner is an alright experience. It has some nice things to offer, offer, but I think as a fairly generic run-of-the-mill political thriller, you'd probably be better served waiting to watch it via a cheaper method. I thought it had a strong performance from Jackie Chan, some decent action sprinkled in every so often, and a little bit of emotion to keep you invested. Sadly, I also felt the majority of the characters were generic and forgettable, the story as a whole lacks identity, and the film lacks the necessary action and excitement. I'm going to give The Foreigner a 6 out of 10 and say that you should watch this one, but not in theaters. Just wait for it to drop on the movie channels. It'll be a better experience for you there. So did you guys see The Foreigner yet? What did you think of it? And if not, let me know why not. And also let me know your favorite Jackie Chan movie. I'd say probably Rush Hour for me, but it's been forever since I've seen any of them, honestly. That's all for now though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next video.